Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Zara and today I'm going to be talking about lesser known fantasy and sci-fi series. There's a lot of fantasy and sci-fi series that I want to read. Some of them are very popular and some of them are lesser known, and I thought I would talk about some of them. I'm not going to read anything about plot summaries, I'll just talk about what I know of the books, and with that in mind, let's jump in. The first series that I have is a fantasy western series, and that is Sandman Slim by Richard Cardray. This is a series that I think is like 5+ books, and all I know about it is that it's like fantasy western, which I love fantasy and I love westerns, and when you combine those two things together, you can't really go wrong in my opinion. The covers of these books are so nice, like I love them. And I've heard that it's quite dark, I've heard that it's very character driven, and to be honest with you, that's all I need to know. Next up, we have the Latro Trilogy, with the first book being Black Leopard, Red Wolf by Marlon James. I believe this is like an African-inspired fantasy series that I've heard is really, really, really dark. Like there was one scene that I accidentally read like years ago and I thought, damn, that's a pretty dark book, and I'm really excited to read it. I've heard really interesting things about the series. I've heard quite a few people also say that they didn't like it. I don't know why. It could be that it's just a very dark series, but I've heard generally quite good things about it. And the covers are also really colourful and they always stand out on any bookshelves that I see. Next up, we have the Penitent Geology by Dan Abnett. Now, Dan Abnett, for those who don't know, writes a lot of Warhammer, and the Penitent Geology is part of the Warhammer universe. And to be completely honest with you, I don't do this often, but I saw the covers of these books and I thought they were absolutely stunning. And I just want to read them. Yeah, I've seen some really great reviews about them, and I'm really curious to see what this series is about. Like, I think it's quite political from what I could tell when I read the initial synopsis, which also furthered my interest. But it's one of those series that I think you kind of just need to buckle in and a lot happens and you don't really know what's happening until the end, which I'm always in the mood for. Then we have the Latro Trilogy, with the first book being Soldier of the Mist by Gene Wolfe. Now, Gene Wolfe is obviously a very popular author. He's very well known. He wrote Book of the New Sun, which is a series that I've really loved and still need to film my review on, which will happen soon. But this trilogy is like one of his lesser known works. We're essentially following a soldier who has amnesia. Like, that's all I know. I actually got the first book from the library, but ended up sending it back because I started reading it. I was just not in the mood for that writing style, because I would say Wolfe is quite a dense writer. For me personally, I have to be in a very specific mood to read his stuff. And that's not to say that I dislike his writing. I love his writing. I just have to be in a very specific mood. So I ended up stopping it. But I know this is one of those series that initially probably is going to seem like it's quite small scale, but I think the world, this is all just my own guess, is going to widen up quite a lot as we progress through the series. And I've heard the character of Latro is just a really well-written character, which as a character-driven reader is a dream. Then we have the Blind Trilogy, with the first book being Blind by Anna Stevens. This is a series that I've owned the first book of for years and I've just never read it. The books are quite short. And I've heard this is just one of those series that you can just read between bigger, heavier series. It is grimdark, but like the books are short, they're very fast paced and you can get through them very quickly. And that's why I will eventually get there sooner rather than later, hopefully. And then the last one that we have, a series that I've only heard like one or two people talk about, is the Under the Northern Sky series, with the first book being The Wolf by Leah Carew. This is like a Nordic, potentially Viking inspired fantasy series, which is the only reason why I haven't picked it up, because I went through a phase of reading and watching a lot of like Nordic inspired books, TV shows, movies, and I've kind of exhausted that for the moment. But it's a series that I really want to read because I've heard the character work is fantastic and the politics is amazing. I love politics in my books and I'm very character driven, so you've literally got my two favourite things. And I've heard that it just gets better, it gets darker. I think it is grimdark, and yeah, I just can't wait. I can't wait. So that's it. Those are the series that are lesser known that I really want to read. Let me know down below if you have any recommendations that are kind of more off the beaten track and not everybody has read and not many people talk about, because I'm always looking for series, whether they're sci-fi or fantasy, that are like that. Let me know down below in the comments. Let me know if you've also read any of these and if I should prioritize maybe one over the other. I always welcome your guys' comments, and I will see you there. Thanks for watching, folks. Stay safe, take care, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.